say. You know those moments when you feel like worthless piece of matter? Perhaps you had those. At least one of them. It may have occurred to you that you have felt like worse than of neutral value. Perhaps it has happened to you over the span of time that you felt like you were objectively of negative value, at least situationally. Perhaps in a situation that happened to matter to you. Yes. Those kinds of feelings, they can bring you down a little bit, can they not? Yes, they do sometimes have that potential. Like loneliness can chip away at you. Yes, loneliness can be sometimes bleak, but you can grow in loneliness if you kinda get a hold of it, like more of a perhaps get a hold of it, or get a grasp of yourself and get a grasp of your emotions and decide to not be focusing on the negative aspect of just lack of somebody, some assistance, some company, and instead you decide to like not focus on that, not focus on like bad emotions, but actually like focus on what you can do with the situation that you have. Solitary situation, however it may be, however solitary it may be, yes. But still, you can grow in that. You can grow into magnificent shapes, as a matter of fact. It is not the easiest, sometimes perhaps, yes. Sometimes you may feel like you completely do not feel like growing that way, but in most cases I would like to think it is possible. And in many cases those people that suffer from loneliness end up perhaps growing through it and, well, sometimes meeting somebody as a result of the growth that they manage to undergo in the meantime. But yeah, that can be draining. That can be chipping away at you, as I mentioned. Yes, that can have a negative flavor, so to speak. Not having something or the situation being somewhat, less optimal than you would desire, it also has the potential to prove to be less than comfortable. But those inconveniences are a little bit different too. Those little bits of experience where you actually feel like you perhaps have screwed up in some way. Like you feel like you not only did not deliver something, but you ended up delivering something of negative value to someone. Especially if it so happens that, you end up kind of failing badly a person that you would prefer not to fail badly like that. Because otherwise, you might not. I mean, even in those other cases, I would need to investigate the other hypotheticals, yes, of failing people that you don't care so much about. Yeah. It is all about our care and about how, I guess, close we are to someone. Something. So, whatever. Yeah, but on to the point. I actually need to drink a little bit of water, so pardon me for a moment. And I actually forgot to bring myself any kind. Yeah, I did forget to bring myself any kind of a reasonable small container to drink from, so I only have my water jug. Water jug? Water jug? Water jug. That thing. I mean, it is wieldy, but a little bit funny looking when you drink from that. Very comfortable, though. Convenient, yes. So, that point that I was about to... 6 minutes, yes. 6 minutes, and still I haven't managed to arrive at it. Yes, so those moments when you actually end up screwing up badly, perhaps unintentionally, it can happen. It can very well happen to you that you thought that you were doing something okay, that things were good, and then it turns out that they were not good. And as a matter of fact, you have managed to perhaps inflict some negative quality on somebody, so to speak. Not to use words starting with H and stuff. Laughing is a very good coping mechanism, mind you. Anyway. Wait a second, perhaps I'm laughing at everything not because I simply find everything funny, but perhaps I'm laughing because I'm actually so intensively coping with most of the reality that I encounter. What an interesting theory, yes. I will not adopt it completely. No, I refuse to give it too much credence. Yes, but in those cases where you end up feeling very negatively, worthless, or perhaps less than worthless, I hope it is good to have a record of that. You might not have it. Maybe the only record of it is in your memory, and in that case, your memory is a part of your head, your brain, your active, kind of brain. Kinda. And it might fall victim to your emotions and not want to cooperate with you and not bring you the warm, fuzzy memories that might save you in a given moment. But let's say that it can, yes, and let's rewind a little bit to the more optimistic scenario of perhaps you having a record of doing something good for somebody. In extreme cases, which has happened to me, quite. I wanted to find some fancy adverb. It happened to me quite luminously. Nobody ever would probably compose a sentence like that. Right? No. I wanted to find a nice synonym to fortunately. Heartwarmingly, perhaps. Or heart deep frostingly. Yes, it did. Anyway, because when I happened to land, it was an interesting experience, by the way. It was a kind of a first time this sort of intensity of such experience. Feeling like a bad person, basically. Hey, perhaps even in a justified way. You might occasionally you might actually end up situationally being a bad person. More than you would like to be. So yes, it did happen to me. The more I think about the accent and the pronunciation that I give towards the stranger I end up speaking, so you have to pardon that, yes. And fortuitously, yes, we have that. We have that. Fortuitously, or fortuit. I don't know where the accent is supposed to be. Fortuitously, yes, fortuitously. Yeah, I managed to be sifting. Yeah, we can kind of say sifting. Browsing through photographs that I have taken of certain event, social event, with random people. And I stumbled upon a portrait where the person portrayed was looking pretty much almost directly at me, and perhaps he was actually looking at me, even though I was standing in the shadows, I think. The person speaking to more people from from behind the microphone, and me just sneaking up a picture of him from the audience side. Well, kind of among the audience, or around. And that fellow in that picture, yes, he was looking pretty much straight at the cam, at me, looking at me in this moment from the screen, and having one of the cuter and nicer and warmer smiley expressions on his face. Just not somehow romantically or anything like that. No, the point being just simple, friendly, cheerful warmth. A little bit clumsy, a little bit klutzy, but positive, very positive. And it may be good and of great value if you have records or memories of such things, perhaps, in those kinds of moments. And I think that if such moment of feeling very negative influence on the world, if such moment has not happened to you yet, then with a little bit of foresight, you might want to perhaps think about the possibility of such event happening, because they can happen not completely intentionally, not entirely because of hell paved with good intentions and all that. So, with this kind of foresight and awareness, perhaps, that I'm bestowing upon you now, you might want to equip yourself into the future with some memories like that, with some like understanding, very reasonable, very thought through, like, or tangible understanding that for some person you did manage to do good. And perhaps even make them smile. Or just give them something good that they appreciated. That it can be of a very strong therapeutic value. I am not much of a therapist myself, I believe, but I would hold such opinion, yes, that having such well, you might not have such picture, but you know, in the current age where we snap those pictures of basically any social and or unsocial event at any possible occasion and opportunity, and what have you. You should perhaps have like some pieces of imagery like that, and if not, then maybe in your memory at least, in your memory of memories, yes. If you have such warm thing, and you should have, I think, and if you don't, then work on having that, yes. Yeah. You might have that, and if you have that, you might want to preserve it and, like, you know, just keep somewhere, like, you know, there are those like emergency fire buttons, like break glass, press button and stuff, like that sort of thing. Kind of like it can. It can help. And now I feel too warm, and yeah, before I start unvesting on this recording, I think I'm simply going to bring myself to the point of that's not actually, I didn't have the right words that I wanted to use to formulate the statement that I have actually said and conveyed all that I wanted, all that I had wanted to convey, yes. Pretty much. This. I think I'm going to be too lazy to edit this. And even if I wanted to edit this, like, how? I mean, you could jump cut the hell out of this thing that you may have just subjected yourself to, yes, but it's still recording. Yes, it's 18 minutes. This is what happens when I try to record myself just speaking my thoughts. Yeah, this should get edited down to like 2 or 3 minutes tops, and it probably will not, because I will just be too lazy to do that, and I also just wanted to kind of get this out, even though I think this one is of a sufficient value to actually be edited down to a more biteable, more bite-sized size, so that it might perhaps reach more people, yes. I would do it if I was smart and altruistic, but neither am I very smart, nor am I like, I mean, I am somewhere in the middle of the spectrum between altruism and, you know, egoism and stuff, yeah. I should. I probably am not going to. Anyway, the worst I can do is to just prolong this suffering. So, I hope that you may have gotten something out of this. I think I may have gotten something out of this. You know, these videos, they might be more my thinking sessions rather than things of actual broadcastable value. Quite likely. Yes. So, thank you for your attention, and good luck.